It's the Married with Channels podcast. My name is Moose.
I'm Jody.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this, what is airing on the week of Thanksgiving.
Yay.
We brought all the stuffings, all the goodness, all the insight, and resounding thoughtfulness towards a couple programs. With some cranberry sauce. My name, we already did that. We're brought to you by joinhoney.com/married. That's the Honey plugin. It's free for your web browser. Save you money. We'll get to that in a second. We found something kind of cool. Maybe the kids will like. Maybe it's a Christmas gift that we'll save money on. Shh. Don't tell our oldest. But we'll get to an old favorite, but let's begin with a documentary. It's one of these New York Times Presents documentaries where they look at various subjects. This one, they look at the wardrobe malfunction of Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl in 2004. And I feel a little dirty saying the wardrobe malfunction of Janet Jackson because as we learn, a lot of this is at the fault of a lot of people, Janet Jackson being one of them.
Yeah, it's not super clear that it was all her fault. I guess I didn't realize at the time, how much of that fault she kind of took on.
Yeah, I didn't. What I was going to get to with this whole documentary is I don't know if it was that good. I don't know if I learned anything new here.
Sure.
Nothing very insightful. I guess the big one that I did learn was that Janet Jackson had changed a couple things without telling anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just her and Justin Timberlake, I guess.
And the costume person.
Yeah, her stylist or something.
Yeah, her stylist. But I felt like he did that all on his own. But, I mean, she kind of had to know what was going to happen, right?
I think at the very least, he had been her stylist for a long time at that point.
Yeah.
I think at the very least, he knew what her inclinations were.
Sure.
He knows her.
Yeah. And
he's probably not going to jeopardize his career on something like, I'm going to do this. This is going to be just blow their socks off.
Shocking. Yeah.
And first of all, he'd bring it to her. And if she didn't like it, she'd say, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
There would be no ripping off of the nipple thing.
She wasn't completely I just go with whatever he says, kind of. Is that kind of what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. She's not going to be like, okay, well, stylist says we should do that. So we should do that. I'm a dum-dum. I don't think she's that stupid.
Right.
But so I do think some fault lies at her feet. And I don't want to get too much into the actual act.
Yeah.
I think we should focus more on the documentary a little bit.
Sure.
They set it up like this was about Janet Jackson and how she got screwed over here.
Right.
And I don't think they did a really good job of it.
Right.
I don't think they did a really good job of anything other than getting some of the people who are directly involved with the planning and execution of the performance.
Sure. I think too, I wasn't quite sure where it was going to go. The documentary kind of started off by showing her kind of
childhood.
And
how she kind of came up.
Yeah, how she kind of evolved into her own,
Yeah.
But
which I think fits for another documentary.
Yeah, is this a bio or is it a documentary about this incident? But I guess you can't have, maybe it just didn't make for a whole documentary just about the incident once they got all their interviews and things like that.
Yeah, maybe they found they needed something to pad
some more. Mm-hmm.
But, they got into they addressed some of the kind of concerns that I had, and I still had it. And I think I still do at this point. And I don't know if you can hear this, but, whether or not this was planned or not.
Was it an accident? Was it planned? Was it a stunt? Was it publicity? We never got a clear answer from Justin.
That was fun. It was quick, slick, to the point.
That's JT.
And, no, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
You guys are getting pretty hot and steamy up there.
Hey, man. We love giving y'all something to talk about.
From my vantage point, she did look upset. She looked distraught.
You got nasty with Miss Jackson. That was pretty cool.
Hey, man. It's every man's dream.
There's something about the way Janet's head snaps down at the very end when she realized how exposed she is that doesn't feel scripted. It didn't feel like that's what she wanted to happen. It didn't feel right.
I don't know. They're painting her like this victim. And
Sure.
I don't know if I buy it.
Well, and the thing that was interesting to me about this as well is this was starting kind of to be the time when it's not like there weren't PR people, but this is really kind of evidence of how a PR spin can make a situation seem different. And I say that because like the spin afterwards for both of those people, like you can just kind of see the PR work going on behind the scenes there, you know?
It was interesting how they had the moment where Justin Timberlake comes across kind of like an asshole with this.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, the part where Les Moonves, the head of CBS, wanted them to apologize to him in person. Like JT gets on a flight, goes to LA and kisses the ring, to use their words. Janet doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But he comes across very like kind of a sad sack, like a corporate guy.
Yeah.
You know? Like he's the guy's like, oh, hey everybody, they're cutting our pay 60%. Oh well, who wants donuts?
Yeah.
You know, where everybody else is like, fuck this place. But I just don't buy that Janet Jackson is the victim here.
Sure.
It was her stylist. She did these last minute changes and not tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
Now, did she plan for her nipple to come out? I don't think so.
Sure.
I think she just it just went too far. It went beyond what she was thinking. She got caught with her hand in the cookie jar and she got the hell out of there.
Sure.
And I don't buy the victimhood here of Janet Jackson.
I don't know.
I think the documentary does a good job of pointing that out, but I think they lean too heavy on oh, poor Janet.
I kind of disagree with that a little bit because what the documentary did show is the aftermath. And I don't think someone who planned that surprise and was like, haha, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to shock the world, you know, it wouldn't be standing there vulnerable and crying and like feeling like, oh my God, what just happened? And so in the aftermath, it's really telling for me.
I think I'll equate it to like a kid who wants to light the bug on fire with the magnifier glass, but they lit the curtains on fire too. And then now the house is on fire.
Oh, it just got out of control.
I think she was looking to do something to stir the pot. I don't think she counted on her fucking titty hanging out.
So do you call the kid an arsonist or they just made a bad mistake, you know?
You have to call the kid to the woodshed on it. You have to call them out on they burn the house down.
I don't know. They're crying and they feel real bad. They were just trying to kill a bug.
I know, but we need to learn that consequences. Our actions have consequences.
I know, but I don't.
And now you're going to build mommy and daddy a new house.
I don't know. I feel like this incident, though, changed everything forever. You know, live television and, you know.
It totally did.
Yeah.
And that leads me into another kind of issue I had with the documentary. They spent all of like 4 or 5 minutes on its effect on the broadcasting world.
Sure.
I mean, they touched on a little bit with the parent TV council, whatever, religious boo-hoos. And they touched on Stern, and I got a clip of Stern when he was interviewed. Whoop.
In the wake of the Janet Jackson incident, unfortunately, Clear Channel got caught in the crosshairs.
It's become increasingly difficult to do my show. The same show I did a year ago, the government will fine me for it. I have millions of dollars of fines against me.
The executives at Clear Channel Communications have made it crystal clear to radio personality Howard Stern that they will not tolerate raunchy content on the airwaves, pulling the Shock Jock show from 6 cities.
Yeah, so that's basically the bulk of what they touched on with radio and TV in general. And maybe it's because I was in radio at the time. This changed everything.
Sure.
There was so much you could not do anymore.
Yeah.
After that Super Bowl. I remember, I think I was doing afternoons on the rock station. I had strippers in the studio.
Sure.
They were naked. Some were spreading eagle and, you know, like all sorts of raunchy stuff. And after this, that's an extreme example, but you were on a microscope on a lot of stuff that you did. Is this too far? Can I say but in this joke?
I feel so bad for you.
Well,
I don't.
Well, okay. It's not. I'm not worried about the stripper thing. Trust me, I don't care about that.
It's not just that. It's like, well, I mean, now I guess my perspective has changed. Back then, it was like, what's the big deal? You know, there's so much nudity in other countries, like, you know, overseas. Like they show boobs on TV. It's not that big of a deal, you know. And
Yeah,
I don't know. But now that I'm a parent, I kind of appreciate those controls and those things. Like, I know now my kid can watch a Super Bowl and she's not going to see half naked people, you know? I don't know. It's just, it's a perspective shift, I guess.
No, and I don't want to get too far into my radio career stuff. I want to focus more on the documentary, but this documentary didn't show the overall kind of sea changes that went on in broadcasting.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it's not just about nudity. Everything changed. You almost couldn't have fun. You had to have a very distilled, narrow vision of what fun is when presenting an entertainment program. Now, some of us left for satellite radio and could do the same old thing if we wanted to. But, you know, and we adapted. But I think this documentary is missing that. And I think that's where they fell short. I'm probably biased because I spent the last 20 some years in radio.
It's interesting, though. You know, there are things that occur on TV now that are more offensive than this incident, I feel like, you know.
Like what?
Well, like some musical show performances, like, I don't know, like, I think, is it Megan Thee Stallion? And,
sure,
you know, when they did their performance of, I don't want to
WAP.
Yeah, like, yeah, I don't want to say what it stands for, but
no,
I mean,
you can Google it. I think everybody knows what that means.
That is more like offensive than somebody wearing a pasty on their nipple, I think.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, are we back to a place where kind of risque behavior on TV is more acceptable?
No, I don't think so, because you got to keep it in context of where it's airing, where it's happening.
Sure.
The WAP video was on YouTube and maybe MTV after 10.
Oh, I thought that was a live performance on television on a musical awards show.
They did do it, and it had some gyrations.
Yeah.
And they edited the language.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's like we haven't completely turned into this Amish society overall since Janet Jackson's nipple. I think maybe just people have gotten more sophisticated about these things.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, you know, I recall like Miley Cyrus twerking. Like, that was a huge deal, like bad PR thing for her. And like, now everybody does it. Everybody teaches their little kids how to twerk.
Right.
Like, okay, what's the big deal? Like,
was that an issue because of the nature of what she was doing, or because she was a wholesome Disney Channel white girl who now was dressing scantily and twerking her ass?
I don't know. They all kind of go through that trial of like, I'm not a Disney star anymore. Look at me breaking out and being all crazy.
Yeah.
They all kind of go through that. But
I think that's beside the point. Like, were we upset and, oh my God, about Miley Cyrus because it was Hannah Montana?
I don't really
it's like
know.
If you caught Charlie Sheen in a cocaine scandal, you'd be like, oh, okay. But if it was Ron Howard, you'd be like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Opie loves Dopey.
I don't know. I just, who knows which one it is. It just, I don't know. It seems like people are offended by all kinds of things you know, your aunt gets drunk at a wedding reception and she's twerking. So what's the big deal? Like I don't know why people get all upset. But
yeah, I don't know. But this documentary, Malfunction, the dressing down of Janet Jackson, I think it just fell short in a lot of places. I think there's more to explore there, but they have like an hour confine. And I think that was misused.
The other part too is I didn't get a lot of the people opposing. Like, they didn't get any interviews of people who were like really steaming mad about this. Like, why? And are you still that offended by what happened, like, I don't know.
Time would water it down for a lot of people.
Well, and so why were people so upset by that?
Because it's a family show. It's a wholesome. They did a good job painting the Super Bowl as like this millions across the world and a family show and
sure
American values, and nipple. And a big fat black booby comes out.
I know.
And so people are like, yeah. And they made a good point to point out how there's other layers there,
I mean, I think sometimes people want to get close to that line. I mean, every week there are scantily clad cheerleaders on the sidelines of NFL football. So, but we're not offended by how short their shorts get every year or how much more of their cleavage and breasts are showing. Like, I just don't understand what the original complaints were about.
I think because it was in violation of our wholesome expectations.
We watch
and of grown men breaking each other's brains against each other.
Yeah, we watch them fight like gladiators week after week after week, bashing each other, and yet we're like, oh, it needs to be so wholesome. Like, what?
But I think you can make, as far as the cheerleaders, it seems like since Janet Jackson and that Super Bowl, you see less of those cheerleaders on TV. I know I've seen them maybe once.
Sure.
This football season. And now I haven't watched a lot of football, but if they do show them, it's very quick.
Sure.
It's usually just them shaking the pom-poms as they go to commercial.
Sure.
And that's it.
But I do think they have shown less and less of them since then. But I don't know. To me, it's just kind of a contradiction, and like you said, like we're watching grown men bash each other to the point of brain damage, and we're okay with that. We cheer that on, but don't you dare show a breast. Oh my God.
A nipple comes out for like point.
It wasn't even a nipple.
Seconds.
It was a covered one. It was covered.
It was like the tip of it was showing, because it was like pierced. It was like this elaborate pierced sun.
It was like a sun pasty cover.
But the nipple, the top of the nipple was showing through.
Okay. All right.
But even if it was,
it's still,
like it was essentially covered.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the documentary, it's fine. I don't think it's anything like, oh my God, I did not know that. I just think it could have been better.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay, so this is super nerdy, but I also wish they would have gone into the actual construction of the piece of wardrobe. Like, was the first layer supposed to unvelcro and it just didn't? Both of them ripped. Like, I would really like to kind of get into what actually happened to the fabric itself. Like, what? But they just didn't uncover anything new for me. There wasn't any like, here's what we found happened. The manufacturer, sewed this with his sewing machine and not his serger that day. You know what I mean? Like, there just wasn't really any like, oh, that's really what happened. I still don't know from this documentary.
No.
So,
and also we never heard from anybody involved, Janet, anybody about what was supposed to happen. Was he supposed to rip? She's been very vague and quiet about that.
And maybe that's by choice. Like, they're going to say what I think, leading up to this, you see some of the scrutiny she was facing anyway for her kind of newfound openness about sexuality and her videos and her performances. And we were seeing a different version of Janet, and she was getting a lot of flack for that. And I think that maybe at this point she was like, well, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut about it,
Yeah, I could see that. But I would think if you were innocent,
mm-hmm.
if the plan was, look, I, without telling anybody, told Justin, you're going to pretend to rip my bra off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't rip any clothes. Just pretend. Just make a motion like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's what was supposed to happen. He wasn't supposed to yank any fabric.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the intention, I would say that.
Sure.
I would say that, look, I'm not trying to throw Justin under the bus. Love him. Great performer. We had him on tour. Blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
But he grabbed a little too much fabric. And I'm sorry it turned out this way.
Sure.
I feel bad. I don't want to flash my boobie to any kids.
I don't really know. And, the other part that this documentary did show that was very sad to me was that Justin went on unscathed. In fact, he was on a meteor ride to the top of his career following this. And
winning
we
Grammys
never really got anything from Janet for a long time, and not the same, right?
Yeah.
And
it literally took two to tango, that one.
Yeah.
And he received no repercussions. And that's probably because he went and kissed the ring, right?
That, and, I see that, a couple interviews afterwards where he's almost like outraged, like, I can't believe this happened, and it's like, really? Okay, guy.
As the years have gone on, he's had success, but we're seeing shades of him that are like,
yeah,
okay, I see where this guy might not be so cool. And
I know, like I used to
I don't think he's
absolutely
the Tom
love
Hanks
him,
of the pop world.
right? I used to absolutely love him and think he was amazing and funny and, probably a good guy, but I don't know. This is a couple documentaries now where he's been involved in things.
Oh, yeah,
and
the Britney thing.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't think I like this guy.
That was also a New York Times documentary. Maybe the New York Times has it out for Justin Timberlake or trying to bring him down.
I doubt
Rightfully
it,
so.
but maybe it's like a untold Hollywood rumor that, hey, this guy's a jerk and he won't take any of the blame for any of his wrongdoings. So, it is what it is.
So, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend the documentary. I think you're better off reading articles on your own.
Sure.
So,
I mean, watch it if you want, but it's not going to give you any like, oh, that's what.
Yeah, there's no profound nuggets that'll jump out.
Yep.
Moving on to Honey. Go to joinhoney.com/married and get you the free plugin for your browser. And then you can save money on stuff like a Roblox celebrity collection.
Oh my gosh. Our oldest loves this game. I started playing this game.
No, Jody loves the game.
It's kind of fun.
Have you played anything other than the natural disaster one?
Yeah, I tried this other one that she's into, and I was like, what is the point of this? She's like, you just run around and do stuff. And I'm like, okay, this one's not for me.
Yeah. Roblox is kind of like bagels,
Yeah.
You might try an everything bagel, be like, oh, I don't like bagels.
Yeah.
We'll try this one, the onion one. Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Strawberry cream cheese.
Yeah, you got to find the one that you like. And
absolutely.
But yeah, Evie loves this Roblox stuff. And this is a toy set?
Yeah, they have all kinds of merch, of course, to go with it. You can get T-shirts and things like that. But this is like a little play set. And I'll be honest, like I've been
You want it, don't you?
I kind of do but yet here's where I'm at. I've been done Christmas shopping for like a month now. Like I like to do it early, get it over with. But the hard part about that is you keep seeing these great deals like this one.
With Honey.
And you just want to spoil your kids. Like you want to keep buying them more. Like, oh, she'll really love this. Oh, and Honey made it 40% off.
I get it.
It's so hard.
Honey, making it hard as a parent. That should be their tagline. No, I get it. I was just thinking about this Roblox thing. I don't know if she'll play with this.
Yeah.
I think she'll think it's cool initially.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll putz around with it.
Yeah.
But then she's just going to go back to playing Roblox.
Yeah.
On the screen.
Sure.
I don't see this being something she pulls out just willy-nilly on an August afternoon.
I don't know. I mean, if you're really into something, who knows?
But like you said, Honey's made it kind of a tough decision.
Totally.
Because 40% off is 40% off.
Yeah, it's very affordable.
And there's like millions of deals out there with the Honey plugin. Just put it in your browser, go searching around to your online stores, 30,000 online stores it'll work at. I mean, you can share coupon codes through the Honey app. It's actually quite amazing. And save you some money on maybe a Roblox celebrity collection. $2 billion in savings, people. Bam.
Yikes.
With authority. So you're going to get it or what?
Probably not, because I've already got her enough. Like, it's so hard to not want to spoil your kids sometimes. So hard.
Go to joinhoney.com/married and have more stress with your kids by saving them money with the Honey. Moving on to our final show. This is an oldie but a goodie. Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's the ubiquitous theme song. Can't talk about Curb without the theme song.
Yeah.
And this show's on 11 seasons.
Wow.
And we just kind of stumbled upon the new season.
Yeah.
We had no clue. I usually am tuned into this thing when when these things are coming back. I'll see the puff piece about like why Larry David's excited about the new season. Then I'll dive in and be like, okay, when's it premiere?
And I'm always asking you, like, when does this show come back? When does this one come back? Oh, man, I got to wait till then. Like, you're always on it.
We're just on the HBO Max app, thumbing around. It's like, is that new graphics for Curb Your Enthusiasm? Oh, they got a new season. So here we are, season 11. And just when you thought the show's just kind of run its course and it's kind of the same old, it just continues to make you laugh.
Yes.
And I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I easily look forward to it every week when it's on.
I think that's because you inside are like the grumpy old man that Larry David is. Like, I feel like this character probably resonates with you.
for multiple reasons. Not the grumpy old man, but very much so like he thinks of things that, or he says and does, he expands on things that I think a lot of people think about.
Yeah.
You know,
normal
like,
things that bother people, but they usually just like stuff it down. And...
So one instance from the latest episode, actually, they're in the country club in the dining area and somebody has a heart attack and they're like falling on the ground. And, oh my God. And everybody's standing up looking and Larry's looking around. He's like, okay, that's good. And he sits down and starts eating again.
Yep.
And
he's like, I'm not going to let this meal get cold or go to waste.
Well,
like, this is my lunch.
And it resonates with me because it's like, yeah, you know, how long are we supposed to stand here for? I mean, this is horrible. This guy, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. He's being attended to. You know, in your head, you're thinking.
Just go back to lunch.
In your head, you're thinking, okay, I want to sit down and eat. Most people wait for that kind of, there's that natural progression of, okay, everybody, you can get back to your normal lives. And everybody sits down. But that's just one of the examples, you know, and like the middle seat at a dinner party, which I don't know if a lot of people can relate to, but it's funny. Yeah, there is usually somebody who's kind of the more verbose, you know, eloquent speaker, personality, story-driven character at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And that's the middle. I don't want the middle. I can't handle that pressure.
So there are some Larryisms that I can relate to and appreciate. One for me was his little rant about his free umbrella that he got from the hotel. Like,
oh yeah,
it doesn't, you know, blow backwards in the wind. It's a great umbrella. It's got a great handle. Like, he's just going on and on about how great this umbrella is.
Yeah. And the favorite shirt stuff. And we're pulling a lot from the most recent episode, I think, because there's a lot of good examples there.
Yeah.
You have that one little thing that, like, for instance, you know, these headphone adapters, I like the headphone adapters that have the thread that you screw in.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if a lot of people can relate to that, but it's indicative of what this show does so well. They find like these little things.
Little fussy items
or quirks, behaviors, and expands on them. And you instantly resonate with that, like the umbrella. Like, when you find a good umbrella or a good set of gloves, it's gold.
I'm not loaning it to anybody. It stays on my person or in my vehicle
the favorite
all the time.
Shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite shirt. I'm not going to give that to somebody. You don't let out your favorite shirt.
Yeah. And it's just, and like the interpersonal, you know, stuff is interesting because like him and Susie go at it like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Yet they're still friends. They still love each other. And I think that's very much reality because a lot of us have friends that we get in shouting matches with, but the next day are like, you want to go fishing? Yeah, sure. And that's that.
Yeah, I don't know about that because I don't really shout with my friends. But I was kind of wondering that after watching this latest episode. I was like, how can Larry do so many wrong things, offensive things, or ruin things and still have all these friends and that, like, you know, Jeff and Susie, you know, it's like, what is this? Like a love-hate thing? Like, he's just obnoxious enough, but you still keep him around. Like, I don't understand.
Well, I think part of it is financially driven. I mean, Jeff is his manager.
Yeah.
Susie knows that, but they've established this dynamic that works for them. And it works for them.
But even like
he goes and gets her stupid dress, you know?
Yeah, but he ruins it.
Yeah. But
So-
she'll still take him in for dinner next week.
I know, but I don't get that. It's like a bad abusive relationship.
I don't know. I think it shows that relationships are complicated at
Sure.
times. And it's not always like, you know, this is my friend and we're friends and
Sure.
we love each other. We're friends.
Sure.
It's like, fuck this guy. I love this guy, but fuck him.
Yeah.
He fucked my shirt up.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, we're golfing. And also
It's-
the show's great because of just some great lines.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
No.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I love like those things that occur in the show and then they happen in your real life and it just makes you chuckle. Like the previous episode where Susie plopped down on the couch. You plopped. You're a plopper.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
our kid came running and just like plopped herself down. I was like, don't plop on the couch like that. Like,
yeah.
It was just cracked me up because it's like, oh, she's a plopper. That's totally what happened there.
Yeah, they bring to light things in the vernacular that
Yeah.
weren't there, like
Yeah.
the plopper.
Yes.
And just great lines like this one.
How do you know prayers don't work? Because I'm bald.
Because I'm bald. That's so beautiful.
I love
And then you
that.
have great side characters. JB Smoove, as annoying as he is in those Caesar Playbook commercials,
Yeah.
he's still great as Leon.
In my case, a fucking school nurse, she was fucking fine as shit. Every time I had a tummy ache, I tapped that ass.
So did you make up that you had a tummy ache just to go there?
Yeah, she gave me a spoonful of Pepto-Bismol and a fucking hand job.
Talking about having sex with the teachers in school. But yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm the only thing I don't like about Curb is it always seems to center around there's a storyline where Larry's pitching a show or is involved with some production.
Sure.
I remember back in the day, it was the stage version of The Producers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also doing a show with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Miranda.
I think that was his last season, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of the weakest
Sure.
season.
Sure.
And this season, he's trying to pitch a show about his childhood to various networks. And
Yeah.
I mean, write what you know. That's what he knows.
Sure. I'm sure that's kind of a process that maybe he's handling comedically writing because, I don't know, I got to imagine pitching a show to executives or people in a studio is kind of annoying thing that you have to do.
It's funny that one Hulu executive, him and Jeff, like, too much Chewy stuff, right? Yeah, a little bit.
Gosh, that's
And
funny.
the executive's like, J to J, right? Curb Your Enthusiasm continues to be good. Make sure you go check it out if you haven't.
Yeah.
So you at least know what a cut and chat is.
Absolutely.
Anything else there?
What's great is I see those things in real life. Like, I can't recall where I was, but I was standing in line somewhere and someone's like, oh, you did a cut and chat. Like, they're calling people out like Larry does. It's so funny.
Yeah. And I think that's going to do it for this week. Enjoy your turkey. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
If you're listening to this in September of next year, hey, get ready for fall. I don't know. Can't cover all the bases when this might be listened to, but it's the Married with Channels podcast. We focus on some TV shows and movies and bring it to you. Make sure you subscribe on your podcast provider and give us a favorable review. We appreciate that.
Share, tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Go to the Twitter at MarriedWChans. And until next time, I'm Moose.
And I'm Jody.
Later.
Bye.